Assalamu alaikum. I am Mehrunisa. We are going to start our new chapter, chapter number 15, water. Today we will study its introduction, properties of water, water as a solvent, in which we will study its first point, polar nature of water molecules. Starting from its introduction, we know water is really important for us. It is a major component of each and every living cell, and about our human body, it contains about 70% of water. And other than that, it provides the environment for aquatic plants and animals where different types of organisms live. We have our life only because of the presence of water here. So, where do we get water? टोटल अर्थ के जितना भी पानी है उसमें से 97% water is because of oceans, and this water is unfit for use. We can't use oceans water because it contains too much salt. We use water from glaciers and ice caps. Glaciers and ice caps. What is the difference between these two words? Glaciers and ice caps. Glaciers जब कभी भी snow freeze करती है under pressure, we call it glaciers. और glaciers जो कि तकरीबन 50,000 किलोमीटर्स का एरिया कवर करती है, we call it to be ice caps. यानी कि ice caps is a type of glaciers that covers an area of about 50,000 square kilometers. So we use water from glaciers and ice caps. Groundwater that comes from wells and different types of fountains. Inland waters. Inland water means any water body that have a nearby land, which is rivers, so the ocean, it forms about 97% of our world water, and the remaining is in the form of glaciers, ice caps, groundwater and inland water. So here is its percentage. Glaciers and ice caps cover about 2.1%. Atmospheric water, which is present in the form of vapors, it have 0.001%. Groundwater 0.6% and inland water 0.2%. सारे पानी में से the water which is fit for drinking purpose is only 0.2%. यानी कि 100% out of 100% water, the water which is available for our drinking, which is fit for our drinking, is only 0.2%. Read these figures, they are really important for MCQs. Next is why water is so important and what are its properties. The first and the very basic property of water is it is neutral to litmus paper. It do not change the color of litmus paper. We know that the base and acid changes the color of litmus paper, but neutral is water. We know the freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius and boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. And the water, it has maximum density at 4 degrees Celsius, which is 1 gram per centimeter cube. सबसे ज़्यादा water dense इस temperature पे यानी कि 4 डिग्री सेल्सियस पे होता है and its density goes to 1 gram per centimeter cube. Learn these figures, they are important for MCQs. Water is an excellent solvent. ये हर चीज को अपने अंदर dissolve कर सकता है, from ionic to covalent. Polar covalent molecules can easily dissolve in water, and ionic solutes, they also can dissolve in water. Such as salt is ionic in nature, it can easily dissolve in water. Sugar is polar covalent molecule, it can easily dissolve in water. So water, it is an excellent universal solvent. The major property of water is its high specific heat capacity. Heat capacity से मुराद specific heat capacity. The amount of energy, the amount of heat जो हमें देनी पड़ेगी a 1 gram of water को, ताकि उसका टेम्परेचर 1 केल्विन राइज हो जाए, 1 केल्विन जो है वो इंक्रीज कर जाए, वी कॉल दैट टू बी स्पेसिफिक हीट कैपेसिटी। 1 ग्राम ऑफ वाटर का टेम्परेचर फॉर एग्जाम्पल इज 17 डिग्री, हम उसका टेम्परेचर 18 डिग्री करना चाह रहे हैं। The heat that will be required to change this temperature is known as specific heat capacity, and water has about 4.2 joules per gram per Kelvin. It means हमें 4.2 joules of energy प्रोवाइड करनी पड़ती है वाटर को, ताकि उसका टेम्परेचर 1 केल्विन बढ़ सके। Why do this temperature is really important? It is because इसी की वजह से हमारे different types of weathers maintain हो रहे हैं। ओशंस बहुत ज्यादा हीट एंड टेम्परेचर को अब्सॉर्ब करते हैं, एंड दैट इज व्हाई वी हैव अ नॉर्मल लिवेबल टेम्परेचर। अदरवाइज अगर पानी की स्पेसिफिक हीट कैपेसिटी इतनी अच्छी ना होती तो दिन का टेम्परेचर इतना ज्यादा होता कि हम उसमें बेयर नहीं कर सकते थे। इसी तरह से रातों का टेम्परेचर इतना ज्यादा ठंडा हो जाता कि हम उसमें लिव नहीं कर पाते। सो वाटर स्पेसिफिक हीट कैपेसिटी इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर आवर लाइफ ऑन अर्थ। अदर प्रॉपर्टी इज capillary action. Have you ever wondered how the water molecules moves from the roots to the leaves of the plants? इतना बड़ा दरख्त है लेकिन पानी उसके रूट में से उसके लास्ट लीफ तक पहुंचता है। अपवर्ड वाटर कैसे मूव करता है? This property of water is called as capillary action. एक वाटर मॉलिक्यूल दूसरे वाटर मॉलिक्यूल को अपने साथ अट्रैक्ट करता हुआ ऊपर की तरफ मूव करता है, एंड दिस इज रियली रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ इट्स हाई सरफेस टेंशन। So water is composed of 2 elements, oxygen and hydrogen. One oxygen, it combines with 2 hydrogen molecules and we get water. So the properties are, it is neutral to litmus, its freezing point is 0 degree, boiling point 100 degree, density 1 gram per centimeter cube, it is an excellent solvent, it has very high specific heat capacity, and its capillary action makes it very good solvent, very good property for it. Capillary action जिसके जरिए से water roots of plants से leaves तक जाता है, and this is very important for the plants. Now I said water is an excellent universal solvent. What kind of property make this possible? So the first one is the polar nature of water molecule. So before going deep, let's discuss the basic things. Water have hydrogen, 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. Oxygen is more electronegative as compared to hydrogen. ऑक्सीजन की इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी हाइड्रोजन से ज्यादा है। इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी, द पावर टू अट्रैक्ट द शेयर्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन टुवर्ड इटसेल्फ। ऑक्सीजन अट्रैक्ट्स द इलेक्ट्रॉन मोर स्ट्रांगली टुवर्ड इट, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट रीजन ऑक्सीजन गेट्स अ पार्शियल नेगेटिव चार्ज एंड हाइड्रोजन गेट्स अ पार्शियल पॉजिटिव चार्ज। सो दिस इज व्हाई वाटर इज पोलर. It have a negative pole on one side and a positive pole on the other side. Whenever any molecule, any ionic or covalent, polar covalent molecule is dissolved in water, the water rearrange itself. जैसे ही कोई ऐसी चीज जो कि या तो आयनिक होगी या पोलर कोवलेंट होगी, जैसे ही वो पानी में डिसॉल्व होती है, वाटर और सोलवेंट के सोल्यूट के दरमियान एक पर्टिकुलर किस्म का अट्रैक्शन डेवलप होती है। फॉर एग्जांपल NaCl. NaCl have a positively sodium and a negative chlorine. When NaCl is dissolved in water and it is added in water, the water molecules rearrange themselves around NaCl, such as the partial negative portion of oxygen, it comes near to the sodium. The partial positive of hydrogen, it comes near the chlorine, something like this. The partial positively charged hydrogens, they have surrounded the chlorine molecules, the negatively charged chlorine ion, and the partially negatively charged oxygen has surrounded the positively charged sodium ion. In this way, they repel, they attract each other, and NaCl molecule breaks and we get a dissolved solution. इसकी वजह से हमें एक solution मिलता है. So water is really good in this, in breaking the molecules and changing them into ions. So water molecule has polar structure. One end is partial positive and the other end is partial negative. And why is that? It is because of the electronegativity difference. Oxygen is more electronegative as compared to hydrogen. Every substance is dissolved in it. Why is that? Because partial negatively charged oxygen पॉजिटिव हिस्से को अट्रैक्ट करता है एंड द पार्शियल पॉजिटिवली चार्ज्ड हाइड्रोजन नेगेटिव हिस्से को अपनी तरफ अट्रैक्ट करता है. अ solvent interaction develops and the thing and the molecule dissolves in it. In this way, positive and negative ions, they are pulled apart and ultimately the charged ions are surrounded by water molecules. So all the ionic and all the polar covalent compounds, they are soluble in water such as NaCl, KCl, sodium sulfate. They are all soluble in water. लेकिन ऐसे compounds जो कि non polar है, covalent compounds जैसे कि benzene, जैसे ether, octane, all of these, they are non polar covalent compounds. They do not dissolve in water because they do not form ions and water do not attract them. Alright students, our topic for today ends here.